Hello and welcome to another Raggy's Beers, Wines and Spirits review. The 400th review is getting ever so close now. And, 6 or 7 months ago when I first started these beer reviews, didn't know if I was really going to carry on. Felt strange talking to a camera, still feels strange today really. Although I'm comfortable, in it really. Obviously, I've got a viewpoint and I express my viewpoints. And, some people try to be very liberal, but, if something to be said, you've got to say it, haven't you? So, bought from Home Bargains for 69 pence. That's 69 pence for a can. So, Backyard Brew, the Lawnmower. And it's an amber lager, a craft amber lager. 4.8% in strength, so good strength. And it's actually brewed by Carlsberg, would you believe? So, what I'm finding more these days, and I'm sure other beer reviewers are finding, and obviously everybody else is finding as well, is that the big companies, likes of Heineken, Foster's, Carlsberg, Stella, aka all of them, branching off with smaller breweries to bring out craft beers and lagers. And, like gin, there's a fashion trend amongst beers. And although gin will die off, you can see that. Craft beers and lagers will only evolve more. People are moving away from traditional bitters such as John Smith's, Caffrey's, Tetley's, all them sorts of things. And they're moving, my favourite beer is probably King Goblin still. But with all the new stuff that's coming out, everything is challenging that number one status. So, let's give this a pour. Yeah, so 69 pence. And for me, Home Bargains and B&M Bargains, what's not to love about these stores? I've tried to get the pound shops to start stocking beers, because new beers bring beer drinkers to that shop. Beer drinkers will buy whatever's new. So if there's 10 new beers, you'll guarantee that most of the time they'll buy them 10 new beers. That's the £10 in sales. And go throughout the country doing that. And yeah, I don't know, the original cost of the beers, the profit margins, maybe a struggle, but, if Home Bargains are selling stuff for 69 pence, then other places can do it, So, anyway, with this, nice amber colour, good white head, good carbonation through the centre, not much lacing around the outside if I'm being honest. Slight malty aroma coming from it. I'll have a quick drink and I'll tell you a bit more about the beer. Lager. Actually tastes like a standard lager to me. Here we go. It's fiercely bitter thanks to generous amounts of Zeus, Cascade and Amarillo hops. But the bitterness is balanced by a large amber red body built by Pilsner, caramel and Munchener hops. The result is a beer, lager, that is interesting but won't wear out your taste buds. That sessionability taste. The Lawnmower has a loud, noisy body combined with a fresh hoppiness, making it refreshingly sessionable. Master Brewer Daniel, type amber light, hops, Zeus, Cascade, rubbish. So, 2.42 out of 5, so not good ratings, from 131 ratings. Now, these people here will rate this as a lager in a beer world. I don't rate lagers in beer world. I rate lagers in a lager world. So to me, it's a lager versus other lagers. Beers, real ales are their own category. Wines, spirits, they're their own categories. And that's how I review. I don't know if anybody else does the same. I don't look at other people's reviews generally because too busy, to be honest. But I mean, there are some. I've looked at one or two, and they've actually been quite interesting. To be fair, it's interesting to see other people, and it's great to see it's great to see such a wide spectrum of people doing beer reviews. I'm a newbie to it. I've only been doing it 7 months. Some people have been doing it 10 years. My hat's off to them. So, first review from a couple of days ago. Massive head on pouring that took time to dissipate. Initial thought that it was a bit metallic, but after a while I slightly warmed to it. No particular flavour, but it became more drinkable. Left a massive amount of lacing. Bought very cheap, so no complaints really. Another one, 2.9 out of 5. Yellow amber with a white foam and a toasty orange and light corny nose. Caramel and toasted malt, light bodied with some peppery hoppiness and a moderate herbal bitterness. Light toastiness in the finish, doesn't seem as sweet. A bit of a re-rate there. So another one, 2.4. Was not expecting much, but was pleasantly surprised. Couldn't drink gallons of it, but the crappy lager taste is saved by a slight hop bitterness that weirdly works with the tangy lager malt. Got this can for 69p at home bargains, so no complaining. You can't really, can you? And this is a 1.6 out of 5. So I'll say this. This is someone with 50 reviews. Why do I allow myself to be tricked into buying crappy lager in cans that make it look as though it's some sort of hipster craft beer? But your review's rubbish. You've not gone into no depth. You've not gone. You've not. And then another one here, 1.2. Golden colour, frothy white head. Aroma of grassy hops, some wet dog. Flavour of citric hops, not much else. Watery, high carbonation, as expected. And yeah. So, what we've got to remember, it's a lager. It's not a bitter. Lagers, ciders are... I can't think of the word. Evolution. Ciders are moving along, from the old days of just scrumpy ciders and that sort of ciders. You've got fruity ciders with spirits, flavours added, and they are going their way. Real ales obviously lead the way. They are the frontier. They're for anybody who drinks beer and who loves beer. Beers and real ales, they lead the way. There's no comparison. Lagers even though they are massive sellers, probably sell more than beers, probably sell a hell of a lot more than beers. From my days at Sainsbury's, I know that because of the amount of stock we used to shift. But lager is for the general public, and the general public, most of the general public, their taste buds aren't as developed. And it's not slagging off. It's just that's the way it is. So, reason why I said that from a lager point of view, this is quite nice. And at 69p, it's cheap, yes. But you can buy 20 cans of Foster's for a tenner. So 50p a can for 4.40 can. So you put that down, 69p isn't that cheap, and something to think about. When you tot up, you 20 cans of this is actually more expensive than buying your Foster's, but it's a very generic lager taste, I think. The grassy, light malt, pretty bland if I'm being honest. It's not as good as some of the craft lagers I've had recently. So even though you look at the can and it looks like a craft lager, doesn't it? You know, in the can, and you know, I mean, good strength. 4.8's a good strength. It's a, you know, on a similar wavelength to the likes of Stella, Budweiser, them sort of beers. Your premium lagers, shall we say? But taste wise, it's just the same, you know. So, out of 5, ooh. Poured a nice colour, nice head on it, fairly reasonable aroma, not to me a normal lager aroma. Taste, pretty much standard lager taste, slightly better than the mainstream Carlsberg Foster's taste, but again, nothing massively different. Not as good as the likes of Peroni or Heineken. For the price, for what you know you consider to be a craft lager rather than a normal lager, it's a good price. Obviously made by Carlsberg. So out of 5, ooh, considering it's a lager, I'm going to give it a 3.9 out of 5. Not as good as a lot of the craft lagers out there. There's a lot better craft lagers, but saying that, it's a better lager than the likes of Carling and all them sorts of lagers. So, you know, it is what it is. Would I have it again? Yeah, I'd like to try it on cask, just to see, you know, how good it is. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you soon.